Welcome back to the action here at Premier League Darts, brought to you by talkSPORT. You're joining us live on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, taking you through the next match between Nathan Aspinall and Chris Dobey. It's the two Chris's, Murphy and Mason, following on from that 6-5 success for Luke Littler against Stephen Bunting. Could have gone either way, that one, Mace.
Yeah, I fancied it to be close, and it's been a minute, Murph, since we did a bit of comms together. Good to see you. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Very well.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be close.
Not as good as you, back from holiday.
I thought it was going to be close. Bunting's form's been good. Littler was away doing exhibitions over the weekend, so that was only up in Scotland. So he was, although he'd been working over the weekend, it'd have been far sort of less laggy than Bunting. A player who I think is going to be a bit laggy, and the next one will be Aspinall, who on Sunday morning flew out to Spain after a disappointing European Tour match. And then I think he flew back in late yesterday. Yeah,
winner of the match between Aspinall and Dobey will face Luke Littler in the semi-finals. Mark Wilson and yourself kind of alluded to it. The most important dart might be one that ended up on the floor.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Actually, the point actually hit the treble 20 because it left an indentation, but it sort of clattered off the first dart, and that took the energy out of the dart and the impetus, and it just literally just dumped it on the floor. And then annoyingly for him, he stepped up and hit a treble 20 and would have had another go at the 110, which he'd already hit in the match. Yeah, looking at the league table, Luke Littler really solidifying that top spot up to 32 points. I mean, 26 was enough to get through last year. Yeah. Littler and Humphries look safe. Gerwyn Price may well be safe unless it's a total disaster. But this next match is huge, isn't it? Nathan Aspinall looking to really strengthen his hold on that fourth spot before Michael van Gerwen plays Rob Cross later tonight. But he was beaten by Chris Dobey when they met a couple of weeks ago in the Premier League. Yeah, listen, if I was Aspinall, I probably would have given the weekend a swerve. I'd have probably spent 3 or 4 days just ironing out any issues he may have felt where his game wasn't quite on it, and come into this one and give himself every opportunity, because the defeat tonight, and if the other results go against him, he could find himself out of a qualifying position. Yeah, that week 11 meeting 6-2 to Dobey. Dobey averaged in 3 figures in that one, and that ended a run of 5 consecutive defeats to Nathan Aspinall, including earlier in the Premier League campaign. You were at that European Tour, you mentioned it in the previous match. A lot of the players now at that stage of the season where they're starting to feel a bit of fatigue and dodging events. Could we see that be a factor towards the end of the campaign? Well, what might be a factor is I'm watching Sky's coverage of Polly and Nathan on a karting track. Now, a man with well-documented injuries. Have you ever driven a car? Yes. Badly. They are horrendously hard to steer because of it's a car, and they put insane pressure on your elbows and your forearms. I honestly can't get any breath when I watch players do certain things. And if I was him and I said, no, you do know I've got an injury. And then running around filming karting and listen, I head-to-heads for me, unless they're really dominant, I don't think they count for too much. Yeah, certainly preparation then maybe far from ideal for Nathan Aspinall. Chris Dobey ready to get back at it this evening. Again, we talked about Aspinall holding on to his spot. For Chris Dobey, he's in the last chance saloon, but he seems to have been drinking from an almost empty glass there for a few weeks. Yeah, very much like Bunting, really, wasn't it? I think for Dobey, he's going to have to go through the card, isn't he? He's going to have to win 3 of the next 4 nights for me, and what would that put him on? 23 points, would it?
Thank you, ladies.
He's on. What's he on? 17 now.
Yeah, so if he'd be on 32.
No, sorry, Dobey's only on 12, isn't he? Yeah. But Aspinall's on 17.
So he'd be on 27 if he won 3 of the next 4 nights. That's the task he finds ahead of himself.
I mean, the way he could look at it is I could be level with Aspinall come the end of the evening. Don McDonald on the stage, and the players are going to join him very shortly.
And to meet the players, the winner of the UK Open and US Darts Masters, a Euro Tour winner. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the World Match Play and a Premier League finalist. Would you please welcome the Nathan Aspinall!
No hometown aspect of this Premier League night in Birmingham, which seems to have been a feature of the recent campaigns, including Nathan Aspinall's win in Manchester, of course, which was very much seen as his home event.
Yeah, and Humphries will love Leeds, and they've been promoted, haven't they?
Yeah, they actually have. That'll be some party. Stephen Bunting didn't have the party you would have hoped for in Liverpool. Gerwyn Price took the title last week. Aspinall on the stage, though, and very much at home in any arena when he gets this song pumping out. The crowd really do get involved.
Yeah, well, listen, the one thing we know that whatever he's got in the tank, he will leave it all on the stage. That's just the way he is. But he didn't look right at the weekend. Averaged 90 in a 6-2 defeat to Kevin Dukes in his opening match in that particular Euro Tour 5 in Graz.
I'm not really giving it the full beans that he's given in the past.
By comparison, you look at Dobey, he lost to the eventual winner, Martin Schindler, in the quarters, and in the process averaged 106.5, losing 6-4 in what was a very entertaining game.
And here he comes, Chris Dobey, ready to embark on his walk-on in Birmingham.
World Championship semi-finalist and the winner of the Masters, Chris Dobey.
Don't forget, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and then when our matches do go live, you will get a notification. You will not miss a thing.
Yeah, a couple more quarter-finals to go after this one. Winner of this to join Littler in the semis. Then it's Luke Humphries against last week's winner, Gerwyn Price. And then a match between the two players in the table yet to win a night in this year's Premier League, Rob Cross and Michael van Gerwen. Who thought we'd have been saying that about Michael van Gerwen, whose last Premier League win was in this arena last year?
If you do have any questions in the chat for myself or Chris Murphy, please pop them in. Keep it civil, keep it sensible, and we will try and answer your questions.
Practice starts just being completed. Chris Dobey in his usual black and white shirt, a little nod to the favourite football team, Newcastle, and Bedlington in the northeast, taking on the Asp.
Yeah, he's seriously passionate about his football, isn't he?
Yeah, very proud. Geordie.
If you are football fans at the moment, Forest and Brentford still 0-0, so you're missing nothing there.
Well, that could be an important game, couldn't it, for Dobey and his team? Champions League chasing. And chasing treble 20 at the start of this one. Too high with the first start, second one in, and switches with the third to no avail. Aspinall, who started with a 140. Above the treble 20. A little bit closer to it, but can't find it at all.
Yeah, lovely 140 to open. Just a 62 treble 20s for Dobey.
180.
Didn't take long. First of the match. Called out by the referee Charlie Corstefine.
Someone asked you, do you think Danny Noppert would have a chance in the Premier League? Very, very good player.
Yeah, but
Mace, in your prime, could you beat Littler? I'd have beaten him a couple of Wednesdays ago because I won 6-0 with 112.79 average. So, yeah.
he's still got it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not very often.
On that question on Danny Noppert as well, I'll throw a spanner in the works here. I think he could perform well in the Premier League, but I don't think he's got much chance of getting in the Premier League.
No, there's no special effects with Danny. He's a straight up and down dart player, isn't he? And you know, you've got, as well as being a great player, you've got to have, you know, it's about not necessarily bums on seats, because the tickets get sold out before anybody knows who's even in it. But in terms of viewing figures and everything else, you know, you've got to have a certain something.
Yeah, absolutely. That little bit of X factor. Aspinall on 150. Dobey waiting on 108, so he's only going to need one treble to get a go at a double when he comes back. Aspinall's got one.
90.
But all he can do is leave a 60 check out.
Oh, 108 for Dobey. He's at a single 7, so treble 17, which he misses by a good inch.
44.
Aspinall looks likely to hold.
Yeah, it's those little opportunities in this short format that may need to be taken. Has to navigate his way past a bit of a blocker. Aspinall threw himself with the dart. He's had well documented struggles with his grip and letting go of the darts.
20.
And both of those arrows are above the target. Dobey returns.
I think he thought that first dart tops was in. He was walking.
64 for Dobey. Treble 16 not found. A single is, and another one to leave the double. Can't find it.
Usually so good down there. Double 16. So another chance for Aspinall. He's low, so it's double 10. The 1-0. Double 10 is found.
Second leg is Chris to throw first. Game on.
So a hold of throw. I wouldn't say a particularly comfortable one. It's been a slightly slow start to the match. Dobey missing a half chance and then missing a good chance with the 64. And only 57 to kick up on his own throw. Aspinall could have punished it more.
Comes for cover,
96.
finds one treble, down to 348. Aspinall 401. He's low, he has to come for cover. Doesn't find the treble 19 with dart 2, finds it with dart 3. Down to 305. Aspinall leading 1-0.
78.
Still amazing when you see the wide shot of these arenas completely packed full week after week in the Premier League across the UK and Europe.
60.
All getting ever so closer to that big night at the O2. Will Nathan Aspinall be there? And that would be against all odds. I can't remember many pundits tipping him to make the top 4 at the start of this campaign.
No. Quick question here from Julia. Chris, has Aspinall ever beaten Littler? He has, but
60.
only
Chris
the once. Let me go and double check. It's 11-1 to Littler. He won in last year's Premier League.
96.
Night 3, 6-3 win. That's his only win over Littler.
Well, he may get another chance tonight. Semi-finals is the prize. Luke Littler awaiting. Dobey on 74 finds a single 14, so single 20 for tops. Should be out the way, that dart. Always tricky with 60 and 2 darts, but it's too high, like Aspinall did in the previous leg. He's got a chance to break now.
Yes, and Dobey's darts do sit up, don't they? Their second meeting in the Premier League as Aspinall doubles his lead. This is not pretty. What are the numbers, Murph? Do you have them on hand?
In this match, yeah, I'm not sure I want to share them, Mace. 81-77.
Yeah, there we go. This is pretty poor.
That will inflate it, and you know how poor it was when you stick in a 180. Aspinall's first of the match, and the average flies up by 7.5 points.
Yep.
But out of nowhere, we could see him flick on the afterburners here. He's following up nicely. 180 followed by a ton. Live coverage of this year's Premier League across the talkSPORT network, including the playoffs, the finals, live from the O2. But we've got you covered here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed, not just to live action. Plenty of content involving the players, pundits, loads of interviews and darts content on there as well.
This has been a solid leg. 81 after 9. Dobey back on 283. I certainly didn't expect this version of Dobey to turn up this evening. Well, he's hitting 19 to leave 62.
Yeah, then a 45. Going for a treble
17.
10.
65.
Got there in the end.
Dobey back on 283 with Aspinall on 16. Treble 19 found. Then 2 treble 3s in the corner of that target, remarkably. So still not on a finish. And Aspinall's got all the time in the world here. Double 8. At his mercy. Wrong side of it, but he can find a way past the marker, into the bed, into a 3-0 lead. Probably the easiest 3-0 lead he's ever had.
Interesting view here. Controversial. Yes. Should dart players be pals? Well, how do you avoid that? What are you going to do? Just when you start in darts, you start Super League and County, and certainly in my day. But nowadays they would have played Dev Tours, Challenge Tours, and you meet people and you become friends with them. How can you? Be a pretty sad life if you had no friends.
Well, yeah, the travelling is constant. Seeing the same people in different places.
134.
Not just the dart players, but someone on the screen in the money.
Well, it's like fighters, isn't it? They may be friends, but ding ding,
Yeah.
round one, that goes out the window. Same,
Absolutely,
no
game on.
different to darts. Yeah, game on.
Well, Dobey's kind of got his game on suddenly here. 1-2-5 left for him in leg 4. He's running out of time, not just in the Premier League, but in this match itself. He's only
43.
chucked 9 darts in this leg to leave the 1-2-5.
Got the 25 to leave a ton. Just clips the bottom wire of the treble 20. He's going to try and squeak one over the top, which he doesn't do, so he leaves 60. Aspinall's turn to be well back, but not for long. 2-3-3 minus these. Treble 20, single, treble, 140. So a bit of pressure on the 60.
Yeah, and it will, again, block half the target. Dobey's dart standing to attention, so he has to go over the top. And he sneaks it in the top corner, only just Dobey off the mark. But in every leg in this match, mate, somehow or another, the players have left 60 to finish, whether that be as part of a slightly bigger checkout, and it's proved to be a problem on each occasion, something that players are finding new ways to deal with.
Well, Darryl Gurney introduced the flatty, hasn't he? He can effectively throw a stacking style dart
83.
just by changing grip position on the barrel. Littler's able to do it as well. And I think if you like tops, you have to introduce something like that, because these two players, both their darts sit up on an angle, which again, if you're on 60, it's a problem. I remember Andy Hamilton going through a period. I used to practice with him when he used to do it. If he was on 60, he'd go for a small 20.
Still does it, yeah. He's reintroduced it recently. I've
Yeah.
seen him do it on the Modus Super Series of late. Now, Aspinall kicked off this leg with his second
60.
maximum of the match, a 60 with his 4th visit, puts him on 170.
93. Nathan, you require 170.
Dobey on 191. Aspinall leads 3-1. Race to 6. Treble 20's found. Finds another. He'll be going for this. Hit a small 16 in the end. To leave double 17, which Littler didn't like. The double that's hit the fewest times in darts.
Yeah, if Aspinall was watching Littler hit it, I think he will go for it. Could go for the single 2, which is just next door.
Yeah, he was just having a look to see what Dobey was on. Dobey's on 98, so he split it with single 2, pins double 16.
4-1 lead, celebrated by some pirates in the audience.
97.
I think darts is the only sport you can say that kind of sentence and it makes sense.
140.
Dobey would be desperately disappointed with this performance.
Yeah, it's not good. Aspinall's improved leg on leg. He's up to about a 94 average now. Dobey's still
100.
languishing in the mid-80s.
I don't know where this performance has come from. Like I said, he played so well at the weekend.
Humphries versus
93.
Price coming up. The world number 1 against the, well, some would say the form horse in Premier League darts at the moment, Gerwyn Price.
Yeah, he played lovely, didn't he?
And he has been playing well without getting results, and
Yes.
then he did get a result. Perseverance paid off.
And that can be said for a lot of players of late. I think that's just the nature of the beast now. I think the pool is so deep.
Well, only one can win, can't they? People say to you in your day, could you have won more? But Phil Taylor was around, and only one player can win each tournament. So,
and not many other people outside of Taylor won anything. Wasn't just me.
Shake of the head from Dobey, getting visibly frustrated. Here he is on a finish first in this sixth leg. 4-1 behind. Looking at 120 when he comes back. Under what pressure? A lot.
1-3-3 from Aspinall to leave tops. 7 treble 19. So this 120 has to go. He's got the treble. Needs the single.
But again, we're back at that 60 problem, aren't we?
He had to go left off the 60. Now he's gone all the way right. Yeah.
It's been a strange little theme of this match. Aspinall does get a clear look at tops after that brilliant 1-3-3 setup shot. Takes a step back. Something we've become used to watching from Nathan Aspinall. High with dart 1. Equally high with dart 2. Puzzled look on his face as he aims dart 3, which goes in the double and puts Chris Dobey in a world of trouble at 5-1 behind.
Very fortunate there, because that was going nowhere near it. Caught the flight, flicked the dart up, point went in tops. Microwave Dave, that's interesting. Where is the Premier League Darts next week? Luke's Land, Leeds United. Didn't know, Leeds United, Kings of Europe.
Yeah.
That's why his dad called him Luke, because he's a Leeds fan, and so is Luke.
Yeah, all up north for the rest of the season until the finals. Leeds, Aberdeen, can't get much further north than that. And then Sheffield before the final four head to the O2. And talkSPORT will be there.
97.
Yeah, every step of the way. Another reason to subscribe.
Well, Aspinall closing in, 2-4-6. On course for a 6-1 victory, a very comfortable one. And we mentioned we saw him racing around a go-kart. Well, he hasn't had to get out of second gear in this one, has he?
No. Running around in neutral.
170 to win it. Takes his time, settling at the oche. First dart in. Second dart follows. The bullseye for the big fish for the win.
Not taking his eyes off it, Murph.
Yeah, he stepped back 3 paces and then moved back forward, and his eyes remained firmly fixed on the smallest target on the dartboard. He couldn't find it. 25 was hit, so that remainder will be there, and Dobey out of nowhere a 180, but it's no use now, Chris. Aspinall, 8 for the match. A little grimace as he misses outside.
9.
Good attempt, but there is a reprieve for Dobey here.
Yeah, a real lifeline. Treble 20, double 12. Single 20, 14. And the ball. Line was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, he fails to find it though ultimately. It's Aspinall's for the taking. It has been all match. Dobey just hasn't got going. 8. Having already missed, 3 match darts, now 4, now 5. Those two both a margin outside the target. He steps across but over adjusts. 6 match darts have gone begging for the Asp.
Single 9 is found. 8 is pinned. 5-2, break a throw, has the throw in the 8th. Quick catch up on the football. Brentford is 1-0 up at Forest. Man United 0-0. Tottenham 1-0 up.
59.
Only 59 the start for Dobey.
Yeah, I mean that 180, as soon as he relaxed, he fired in a 180, had that decent attempt for the 84.
We say it all the time, when you switch off because you think you're out, you'll throw natural. And another thing I talk about a lot is you've got to be focused and not try. The 1 minute you try, it becomes a nightmare. How things going at Modus? Very much part of the day-to-day running of the Super Series now, Murph. How's things going down there?
Very well. Champions Week last week.
Yes, it was very good.
Jensen Walker taking the title, lad from Coventry.
18,
just 18 years of age. So I mean,
not too far from Birmingham, you might be there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've done the teenage triumph story before there, of course. And this week, Women's Week. And we've got a 16-year-old sensation there, Paige Pauling.
Yes, very good. And then international pairs.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Players representing the country. It's the first pairs event ever to be held on that stage.
For those of you, I do get lots of messages. Oh, why aren't you? What's happened? Have you fallen out? Why aren't you working out? No, my schedule just hasn't sort of sequenced right with the Super Series. But I will be back once the Premier League's over, of course. 180 from Aspinall down to 64. Dobey with the darts, 152 to save it. It's a long, long way on.
Now, when you say you'll be back, you do mean commentating, don't you,
I won't be
Chris?
coming back playing, that's for sure.
64 for Aspinall to get the job done. £8 found, so 16. Leaves tops. Same again, eyes pierced on the target as he steps back and forward again, but that's the 7th match dart. I'll keep the tally going.
92.
Talking of missed darts at doubles, did you see Joe Cullen at the weekend?
Yeah, I knew where you were going with that. And Dobey's cleaning up here. When Aspinall's missing these match-winning opportunities, Dobey's just taken out a 92 in 2 darts. Yeah, 5-3 now. Suddenly there is a game on. Aspinall has the throw this time. But there will be an increasing level of frustration racing through his mind.
Like I say, he's had 7 opportunities just to get off stage, regroup, and prepare for his semi-final match. Now, Dobey will have his tail up, be thinking, well, you're going to keep giving me chances.
82.
He should be playing with the attitude of, right, I'm free rolling. He should be out. He should be playing with freedom. Shackles off. Shoulders loose.
93.
Yeah, it's just looking a little bit more difficult for Aspinall as the game goes on as well. That stepping back occurring more often than it was at the start. Dobey in 2 treble 20s.
140.
140 gets him down to 279. Aspinall on 350. Can of course be done in 6. It won't be. Needed a 180 and a 170, and you just sense
100.
that the technical, physical problems are starting to be felt by Nathan Aspinall as well.
Yes, the pressure rises. Single 19, single 20. The Dobey can't dink it over the top, so only down to 220. Aspinall's throwing this leg. He's on 250 again, having to reset. Half time in the Forest Brentford game.
41.
Brentford 1 up. United 0-0. Spurs 1-0 up. And Chelsea 1-0 up, but it's an interesting place. I'm surprised we haven't played darts there.
Yeah, not sure how it's pronounced. Your garden?
Yeah, I think that's it's probably what it means. If you're ever having a game in your garden, if you want to join in.
120 for Dobey to close the gap to a single lead in a match that he trailed by 4 legs. Well, he has found a single 20, and it's only just in, but what it does do, it leaves it out of the way. Tops to complete the Shanghai shot, couldn't do it, so Aspinall gets another chance to win it. This time 69 is the equation.
Yeah, he may be better in a combination shot. Did have a go on the 170, of course, but 69. Treble 19 leaves double 6.
Match dart number 8 incoming, and that's the one that sees Nathan Aspinall stumble over the line. Opened up a 5-1 advantage in this game with his good friend Chris Dobey, but squandered 7 match darts before finally taking out that clean 69 to get it done 6-3. In the end, an average of 92.28. Dobey 87.43. He did start to lift his game towards the end, but maybe it was too little too late, and that could be the way to describe his Premier League campaign.
Yeah, very stop-start, and he didn't look comfortable there. But like I said, he wouldn't have picked up his darts since Saturday. Flying from Austria to Spain and then back again yesterday would have taken him out of it, so out of him a bit. I think he'd just be pleased to get over the line. The one to be really disappointed there is Dobey, because he's just had a bit of a disaster.
Absolutely, it is Aspinall who goes through to take on Luke Littler in the first semi-final. Luke Humphries against Gerwyn Price coming up, and then Rob Cross against Michael van Gerwen. That completes the quarter-final lineup from Premier League Darts in Birmingham. And when it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro helps you dodge bogus sites, and with the Dark Web Monitor, you'll get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the Madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. And we will be right back here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Up next, it is Luke Humphries, the world number one, against last week's winner, Gerwyn Price.